Hey guys, so here we are, we're at pillar 5 and this will be the final video in the 5 pillars of fat loss series. So in the last video we talked about NEAT, which is your daily expenditure. It's a passive, consistent movement that happens outside of your gym sessions and adds up to more daily calorie burn than more people realize. So if you've not watched that one back yet, go and please do, because it sets up everything that we're about to cover. And of course, if you're on video 5 today, please go back to video 1 and start from the beginning, because there's definitely some insight that'll be great for your fat loss journey. So today we're going to be talking about pillar 5. We're going to be talking about cardio for fat loss. So it's going to be intentional, programmed exercise that's specifically designed to increase your calorie output. And I want to start and focus on one thing. So there's a reason that cardio is being spoke about as pillar 5 and not pillar 1, and that is deliberate. Most people decide they want to lose fat. The first thing they do is they start running or they jump on the bike, sign up to spin classes 5 days a week. Cardio feels like the thing that you should do for fat loss. It feels like if you're going to do something that you get your heart rate elevated, you get hot, you sweat, you burn calories, and then you feel like progress is happening. But here is the reality, and this is what we've been covering in our first 4 videos. So if your calorie deficit is not in place from the beginning, your protein is not dialed in, you're training not with progressive overload, but you're stagnant, and your daily movement is virtually non-existent, then cardio alone will not transform your body. Okay, so it will help, of course, but it's the last lever that we should be pulling, not the first. So if you get pillars 1 through 4 right, then add cardio on top. That is the order that produces results. Okay, so that is the cherry, which brings me to something that I see consistently, and it's something that we need to address directly. So too much cardio and not enough resistance training is one of the most common mistakes that we see during a fat loss phase, and here is why it matters. All right, so cardio burns calories whilst you're doing it. You finish your run, you stop burning those calories. Whereas muscle, on the other hand, that will burn calories around the clock, at rest, while you sleep, while you're sitting at your desk. The more muscle that you carry, the higher your resting metabolism is, and that is easier for fat loss in the long term. All right. So when people do excessive cardio at the expense of their resistance training, they'll end up losing muscle alongside their fat. So the scale may go down, especially at the start, but when it comes to an end of a body transformation, so they don't look how they expected. We covered this in pillar 2 and in pillar 3, but it's worth repeating here because cardio is where the temptation to overdo is the strongest, and we see that from for years now. It has got better, but it's still sort of something that we need to talk about. So cardio will support your fat loss. Resistance training will drive it. And that is the hierarchy that we want to keep clear. Okay, so cardio support it, and resistance training drives it. Okay, so let us get into the 2 types of cardios that we'll mainly use with clients and how each one works. I'm going to talk them through for you. So 2 main options for you in terms of calorie, in the gym. So you've got LISS. LISS will stand for low intensity steady state. And this is your primary fat loss cardio tool. Okay, so low intensity, a longer duration, sustainable pace. We're talking around a heart rate of around 120 to 135 beats per minute. And this is a zone where you can hold sort of a light conversation during, where your breathing is elevated but controlled, and where your body is predominantly using fat as its fuel source. All right, so in practice, LISS will look like an incline walk, stairs, a cycle. It's something you can do at a comfortable pace. Okay, so it's not glamorous. It's not going to make your legs feel like they're about to fall off. But it is incredibly effective in a fat loss phase. Okay, it burns calories without putting significant stress on your recovery or sort of affecting your resistance training itself. So LISS will always be the cardio that I'll reach for first with clients, so who are in a deficit. It does not interfere with progressive overload. Okay, so it does not hammer your recovery. It can be done before or after a gym session. It can be done between gym sessions on sort of rest days, considering. It won't compromise the work that you're about to do in the weight room. Okay, so LISS for me is all about recovery, and it can be sustained over a period of time. The other option you have is HIIT, and HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. Okay, so HIIT is a different animal entirely. It's short, explosive bursts of maximum effort, followed by recovery periods. All right, so you're pushing yourself into the red zone, and your heart rate will be well above sort of 150 beats per minute, potentially up to sort of 170, 180, depending on the person and the exercise that they're doing. And this is where we sort of look at in terms of our progress markers. So a lot of people don't talk about recovery during our HIIT sessions, and that's what I like to focus on. And it's sort of, for me, it's the primary marker of progress. It's not how hard you can push, sorry. It's how quickly your heart rate will recover between the efforts. Okay, so not how high you can get your heart rate, but how quickly you can get your heart rate back down. So when you start doing HIIT, your heart rate will spike during the effort itself. It will take a long time to come back down during the rest period. So as your cardiovascular fitness improves, that recovery becomes faster. You'll hit the same high effort, but within sort of a rest period of maybe 30 or 60 seconds, your heart rate is already dropping back down towards a manageable zone. And that is your fitness improving. Okay, so that is your body becoming more efficient, and that is what you're chasing in terms of your progress markers for HIIT. So not just the burn or the endorphins at the end of the session, but we're looking for the speed of recovery between rounds. So HIIT has its place during a fat loss program, but it needs to be managed carefully. Okay, so done correctly, HIIT is incredibly taxing on the body. It demands recovery, and if you're already training hard in terms of weights, whether it's sort of 3, 4, 5 times a week, adding in sort of additional HIIT sessions on top is going to be potential for burnout, for injury, and that will lead to stalled progress. Okay, so a lot of times that with HIIT itself, less is often more because it allows for a better recovery. So which one should you be doing, LISS or HIIT? And it sounds a bit of a cop-out, but the answer is both, but in the right proportions. So in a fat loss phase, I'll lean heavily towards LISS as the primary cardio tool. We'll use HIIT sparingly, but programmed well. The exact split will depend entirely on the individual, their training volume, their age, their recovery, their sleeping patterns, their lifestyle, but also how much sort of calories they're already burning through NEAT. Okay, so there is no blanket answer that I can give you here. So 2 sessions of LISS per week might be enough for one person. Someone who wants sort of accelerated results might be able to push to 4. And this is the exact, the kind of thing that gets dialed in through my personalized coaching program, rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. We delve into it during your initial consultation, and that's where we see what's best for you. All right, so the next piece I want to talk about is fasted cardio, because it does come up quite a lot during sort of the initial standpoint. So fasted cardio is doing your cardio first thing in the morning before breakfast. Okay, so there's a lot of research online, a lot of people swear by it, but the research is quite mixed on whether it produces meaningfully better fat loss results when totally calories are matched versus sort of the alternative of fed cardio. But for me, I think that it's sort of the best option will be what you feel comfortable with and what fits into your schedule. And my honest view is this: so if you enjoy training fasted, if it fits your schedule, if it makes you feel good and you can perform well in that state, then use it. It's a personal preference tool. It's not going to be a magic fat loss accelerator. But what matters far more than when you do your cardio is that you do it consistently and that you have an overall calorie deficit in place. Okay, so you do not need to overcomplicate this. Find what works for you, for your schedule, and simply stick to it. And that brings me to possibly the most important part of this entire video. So what is the best cardio for fat loss? So the best cardio for you is going to be the one that you can actually do consistently. Okay, so whether it be incline walk, cycling, rowing, running, the stairs, the method of the cardio matters a lot less than the habit itself. So pick something that you can see yourself doing week after week, month after month potentially. Track your progress, track the distance, the time, your pace, your heart rate, your recovery, and get better at it over time. Okay, so this is progressive overload applied to cardio. And over the next few months of doing so, this will compound into a genuinely different level of fitness and output that will translate to your physique. All right, so let's bring all the 5 pillars together because this is where I want to leave the videos and wrap up for you before you embark on your journey. So what have we covered in the 5 pillars of fat loss video series? So we've got pillar 1, which was the calorie deficit. This is the non-negotiable foundation, and nothing will work without this. Okay, so we went on to pillar 2, which is protein, and protein is the macro that keeps your muscle full and supports everything else, including protecting your muscle and your recovery. All right, so pillar 3 was then progressive overload, and progressive overload is the training principle that builds muscle, raises your metabolism, and makes your calorie deficit a lot easier to sustain long term. And pillar 4, which was NEAT. So NEAT was the daily movement that burns more than most people realize and will keep your calories higher during your body transformation journey whilst your results keep coming. And then what we've covered today on this video in pillar 5, which is cardio. So it is intentional, programmed output that's a cherry on top of everything else and will push your results further. Okay, so these 5 pillars working together consistently across your body transformation is what's going to produce a transformation that you should be proud of. You'll be able to see, feel, and sustain. Okay, so it's not a crash diet. It's not 6 weeks of misery. It's the focus of a genuinely different body and a way of living that keeps it there. Okay, so if you have made it through all 5 videos in this series and you're ready to have this all built out specifically for you, so your numbers, your program, your daily targets, and then a plan that's actually built around your actual life, that is exactly what my one-to-one coaching is going to be for. You can click the link in the caption of this video to apply for it. I'd really love to work with you. I've been in the fitness industry and the online coaching industry for 10 years now. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients, and I can tell you this is the method that actually works. Okay, so like I said, the link to apply is in my bio of the video. If you're interested, please do click it. And if you've made it from video 1 to 5 of all of our videos itself, thank you. And I wish you all the best on your body transformation. And I hope to hear from you soon.